everybody. Welcome to Shannon Confidential. I am Shannon, your host, and this is a podcast that talks about life, love, and everything in between. Welcome back to part 2 of our attitude adjustment series, and today we are going to be discussing while to your mind, it's all an illusion. So to recap a little bit from last week, you have to retrain your brain. Stop doing things that don't truly make you happy. You really do have the choice to stop doing things that don't make you happy. Stop comparing everything. You are fine who you are. Stop comparing. Stop wasting money on purchasing stuff. Invest more in experiences like camping trips, staycations, times with family and friends, cooking. How about this? Volunteer. Go to church, go to temple, whatever it is. Experience life. Stop looking through the camera lens. Look through here. It's a little recap. And savor your experiences. Talk about them. I'm talking to you. Again, to reiterate, I am taking this course from Professor Laurie Santos. She is a psychology professor at Yale. She has the #1 course at Yale, and this is the Science of Well-Being, and I am taking it. It is fantastic. I am not by any stretch of the imagination reteaching this course, but I am bringing to you, savoring to you all the parts about my well-being and finding your happiness and strategies to be happier, to make people around you happier. And I want to savor that with you and share that with you. So thank you, Professor Santos. You've been so amazing. Then I just did a quick recap of what we talked about last week. Savor, savor, savor. Live life to the fullest. Stop comparing. Get off social media if you have to. And I had seen this quote somewhere, and it just seems like now doing this course, it kind of makes sense. It's create a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Got to feel good here. You have to be happy here before you can be happy anywhere else. And that kind of also goes for that social media filtered, not true stuff. So in today's episode, I want to talk about the importance of exercise. I've done a podcast about this. Now I can tell you it's not just something I see, something I'm trained in, but it's also very much a proven fact to your happiness level. Yes, working out does make you happy. It makes you tanner through an epidemic. It makes you more in shape, makes you healthier, and yes, it does make you happier. You could walk, run, lift weights, do yoga. Moving itself is a mood enhancer. So keep moving. Move yourself happy, people. Another thing that is really, really important, and you might know somebody who maybe doesn't get enough sleep, and they're kind of like a bear, or you wake them up too early. Not easy, but sleep is... Probably should have said that. But sleep is really important. 7+ hours a night is adequate sleep. And I'm going to tell you, 4.9 hours or less is sleep deprivation. You don't want that. When I'm sleep deprived, I can barely put 2 sentences together anyway. If I don't get enough sleep, I'm like a zombie. I don't know what's going on. I forget my kids' names. Does my dog need to go to walk? Did I feed my fish? I don't know. When I'm tired, I can't even think straight. And the truth is, sleeping affects your mood, your focus. It weakens your immunity. It increases your accident risk because we're tired and we can't think straight. It lowers your sex drive. That's the reason to sleep right there. And it increases your risk of heart disease and your balance. Okay, Lacey, you need to sleep more because there's something seriously wrong with your balance. I've seen curbs come up and bite her. Anyway, you guys sleep. Get your sleep. And sleeping isn't just the time that you go to bed. Turn off your phone. If it's vibrating in the middle of the night because you're getting notifications, text messages, whatever it is, you're not getting that deep, fulfilling sleep. You need to turn off your phone, turn off the lights, turn off the distraction. Yes, it might be difficult, but I assure you, like anything else, just do it. In a week or two, or even a night or two, when you realize you're not getting that distraction, that buzzing, or whatever, you actually slept better, you'll be nicer. You won't be off balance. I don't know. And your sex drive will go up. So hey, everybody wins.
Turn off the TV.
Turn off your TV. Don't fall asleep with the TV on in case you're watching something good. But in other words, turn your TV off. And another thing this is one area where I have not gotten into. Well, I tried it one time and I felt really silly, so I didn't try it anymore. But maybe I should try it again. Meditation is a proven fact to be another mood enhancer. There's all sorts of meditation. There's you could do that. There's sound meditation. There's all sorts of meditation. I don't know, one time I was doing one, I don't really even know what it's called, but I was you had to make faces like lion noises into the mirror. So we all had to sit Indian style and go like, blah, into the mirror. Okay, I'm not kidding you. You had to do it over and over again. And your roar had to be long and loud, which I will not do for you right now. And you had to go towards the mirror and you had to do this stretch like Lion King or something. And the people in the class, no disrespect, they were loving it. It was just so cleansing to them, and they were doing this roar and this motion. And I did it because I was supposed to. I didn't want to just crack up, though I really wanted to laugh. But there's all sorts of meditations. There's that quiet peacefulness. And what meditation does, it increases your mood and your concentration, because it allows you to, all seriousness, it does get rid of the chaos in your brain, and it allows you to focus on one single subject. One single, that third eye, that Zen moment where you are just focused on one thing, and everything else and all the world and all the chaos goes away. And that's a beautiful thing. So anybody out there that meditates, teaches meditation, whatever it is, you know what, contact me. I would love to hear more about it. I don't know enough. So I know what I don't know, so I'm not going to act like I know. But I will tell you, it does increase your mood. And here's one thing, it builds brain tissue. Do you know that meditation actually increases the size of your brain matter? So maybe it makes you smarter, I don't know. But I'll increase this noggin. I'll increase this before I increase this. So maybe meditation is what I need to do. So another thing, so exercise, move, anything, any kind of movement is a mood enhancer. Sleep enhances a whole lot of things, but also it reduces a risk for some really, health issues there. So sleep's important. Meditation is key, grows your brain, gets you focused, and we all could focus a little bit more. And all of that is what we're talking about. It increases your happiness. So we're all going, let's just go that way on your happiness. Now, the one thing that I wanted to also touch on is where I call this, it's an illusion. It's because we overestimate. We constantly overestimate what will make us happy compared to, in reality, what will make us happy. So you might say, for instance, I said it in last week's episode, this car might make you happy. But once you get the car and then that newness wears off, it doesn't quite make you as happy. So you overestimated the happiness that it'll bring you. At least you overestimated how long that happiness will bring you. I know I have totally overestimated how long an outfit was going to make me happy. It did not last nearly as long as I thought it would. Your job, another thing, and this is really where I want to say it's an illusion. A lot of people take a job, and you take a job because you need that paycheck. And absolutely, especially in these times, that is 100% true, the right thing to do. But I would like a lot of you to start focusing on your core strengths. What are you good at? Are you a good writer? Are you good with your hands? Do you do better with technology versus, I don't know, being a party planner? What are you good at? Maybe a part of where you're not so happy at work is maybe you're doing something that you're not really enjoying. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination going out there and telling you to quit your job. What I'm saying is reevaluate what your core strengths are. And those strengths, if you implement them in a job that you're doing and you're good at, it might make you happier to do it. You see where I'm going with this? So try to find what your core strengths are. It may not even require that you have to change your job. Maybe there's something at your job that you can start doing because that's a core strength. For example, before I stopped working to start my podcast and follow a dream, I was an executive assistant for another company. And though I had wonderful time there and I enjoyed what I was doing, I worked for a wonderful man. He was like a brother to me, really. We became very friendly, very close, very quickly. I did not know that eventually I would be running a huge 900-person fundraiser that he did. And so I was hired as an executive assistant. So I was doing, calendar work, flights, scheduling, phone calls, appointments, putting together presentations, that kind of thing. I was doing office work, and I guess I was pretty good at it. But what I found was when I got involved with his fundraiser, and then eventually ran it. Was amazing. I loved it. I went crazy over it. I never planned a party in the kids' birthday parties, but not an event, not a fundraiser that had a silent auction in it, and it had, it was to raise money. And to put together a huge event like that was so amazing to me, not only because it was an incredible amount of work, but the pleasure in putting something successful together, it just lit a fire in me. And then also with that job, life changes, the way you market and strategize changes, and he took a turn and decided to try to use social media marketing. So I met great people through that, which here I am now doing a podcast. He started a podcast on his show. No direct competition, don't worry about that. But these are things that I realized, wow, here I am being an executive assistant and enjoying it, but the stuff that lit the fire, the stuff that I realized later was a core strength of mine, that's what really made me happy. And here I am today. I love what I'm doing. Not paying the bills right now, but I love what I'm doing. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time sharing everything with you, reliving my experiences, savoring my life with you, savoring my experiences with you. So this has all been an incredible learning experience, but I'm so happy. And I want you to feel that happiness. So maybe at work you can find something there that you're good at, or implement something. Here's one: go to work, have an idea, make your office better, make your job better, make your company better. Do something, offer yourself. Or do something outside of it. There's all sorts of organizations where you can volunteer your time, maybe even get paid for your time to do something a little different, maybe on the weekends. I don't know, I'm just brainstorming here. But find a core strength, something you're good at, something you enjoy, and try to implement that into your life, and that will also bring you a great deal of happiness. There was this one thing that I learned in the course with Professor Santos, was this default network. Now, if you know me, if there is science behind something, which is basically why I took this course, the science behind well-being, I am such a geeky science nerd. I would build a volcano and have it explode every day. I don't care. I am such a geeky science nerd. And this part of the course is where I thought, wow, this makes a lot of sense for me. And that is the default network, the DMN network. It's your default mode network in your brain. And your brain will immediately default to this, as soon as you're not doing a mind-taking activity. So the second you're doing something, I'm doing a podcast, you're cleaning your house, you're cooking, the second you are not doing whatever it is that you're doing, your brain immediately goes into this default network. And this default network, and this is why you have to stay, keep your mind active. It doesn't go into current time. It goes into past. It goes into, you start thinking about the future. You start thinking about others. But what you're definitely not doing is thinking about the here and now. And the here and now is where you're trying to make yourself happy. So let's just say you stop. You get that feeling, or you have that one friend that you're talking to you, and they're talking. All of a sudden, it's like squirrel. It's that. The default network is that squirrel moment when you're completely taken out of whatever's going on right then and there. There's nothing occupying your brain, and bam, you're going to go into that default network. It goes back to, it's an illusion. You think you think you're doing what you're doing, but your brain is automatically going to a different place. And I never knew that. It explains a lot how I lose attention fast, that's for sure. And I found that amazing. So when you're not occupied doing something you love or you enjoy, or something that's taking up your brain space, and then you start to thinking about, oh, that place I went to yesterday, or I wonder what Angela's doing today. That's that default network. So you want to keep yourself out of that, because that does not allow you to savor the here and now and enjoy life and enjoy the moment and be there and just appreciate what you have at that moment. Don't go backwards or just think about stuff that's not necessary. Stay focused in the here and now, and And that'll increase your happiness in whatever you're doing. You can't savor something you're not thinking about. You can't appreciate something you're not thinking about. You can't enjoy what you're doing if you're not thinking about it. So stay in the here and now. Don't allow yourself to get all distracted with that default network that's actually up there. It was incredible when I learned that. I hope you guys found it as intriguing as I did. And one of the things that you hear about, and this is where the core strengths are really important, is that zone. Now, I'm an athlete. I played soccer, traveled all over playing soccer, all the way up through high school, almost played in college, played with the most incredible women out there. All my bolts, Coach Martz, man, you rock. I love all of you. My soccer team was amazing. So when you are an athlete, or maybe you're a musician, or certain jobs, and you get in that zone where just everything clicks, it's just like, you're in the right shape, you're in the game, you're playing you're playing your position beautifully. You were right there. I was left wing. I'm left-footed, right-handed, left-footed, who knows? When you're in that zone, that's where you're at your peak. And that zone is that place where you're working, you're doing something, you completely lose track of time. You have to go to the bathroom, but you forgot, to go until you're about to wet your pants. You're like, oh my God, I forgot to go to the bathroom. You are so engaged. You are receiving so much fulfillment that you are in that zone. It's like I said, a lot of athletes and musicians, they get in that zone. That's the place where you're finding your happiness. So it's not just about doing things, it's about getting to that place that makes you the happiest. And that's why I said find your core strengths, because you'll find that type of happiness when you're using the parts of you that are the best of you. And when you do all of that, that makes you happy. That's crazy how that works out. When you're doing what you love and you get in that zone, it makes you happy. And then you can savor it and pay it forward, and really, really think about using your skills in a way. Even if you're handy and you come home from work, say you have a different job, you come home from work, build stuff. Maybe offer yourself out to your neighbors. My dad, he had a tile business. This was one of my first jobs, learning how to lay tile. And now that he's retired, he was a paramedic and firefighter also. And now that he's retired, he helps his neighbors. He is like Mr. Handyman, like neighbor bestie to everybody. He still utilizes what he's good at for his own happiness. And these are the things that we can still do today. You could use the skills that you're really good at. And there's one area or one term that I loved from this course. It's called intrinsic motivation. And this is where you're engaging in a behavior simply because you enjoy what you're doing. There's behaviors that you do because there's some reward for it at the end. Okay, if you do this, you're going to get this. Or you do this, you're going to get a bonus. Or if you do this, you're going to have this happen to you. But when you're in the intrinsic motivation mode, you're doing it simply because it makes you happy. And I think we all really need to try to stay in that mode right there. And that would pretty much be my lesson for today. My part 2 of attitude adjustment is to try to stay out of your default network, get in the zone, and stay more focused in your intrinsic motivation. Our Be Kind quote of the day. This one I thought was pretty relevant considering what we're talking about today, and it's that happy people build their inner world. Unhappy people blame their outer world. Be happy. And our style secrets for this week, I will continue to promote my new favorite professor, Miss Laurie Santos, professor of psychology at Yale, who has the #1 course, The Science of Well-Being. I love it. It's amazing. I strongly advise all of you take it. It's a 10-week course. It's not a whole bunch of work, but it will be so enlightening for you. She also has a podcast called The Happiness Lab. Follow her, enjoy her. She's really easy to listen to. Her lectures are great. I got to share it with you. That's my style secret. I'm loving your confidential questions, your suggestions, your ideas, everything you're sending to me, emailing to me. I'm having the greatest time reading them, loving reading all the positive messages that you're sending me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jennifer, for your suggestion, your fabulous future. That's great. I will touch on that. I love that idea. Please send all your confidential questions. That's questions, concerns, something I've talked about, something you'd like to hear me talk about. Email them to me at shannonconfidential007@gmail.com. And of course, you know I'm so excited. Shannon Confidential has her own merchandise now, and that is on redbubble.com. REDBUBBLE, redbubble.com. Just search Shannon Confidential. And of course, if you noticed, I've got some bling. I do have some of that coming that will be available to you, so stay tuned if you would like to have some sparkle. You can always follow me on Facebook at Shannon Confidential, Instagram at Shannon_Confidential, YouTube at Shannon Confidential, Twitter at Shannon Confide 7, and now on Apple Podcasts. Just search Shannon Confidential. Thank you, and I will see you next week for part 3 of our attitude adjustment mind makeover.